What's up, YouTube? It's Cralisa live from the kitchen. So let me just hurry up and do this. But basically, guys, I spilled some stuff, so I'm gonna have to wipe up my counter in a second. But I'm gonna be brewing some fresh coffee.
It's only 11 something, but why does it feel like it's 2 something? We just vibing, we just crazy, baby.
What's up, guys? So at this point, if you made it to like right here where I'm sitting, then you must be ready for the chit chat. The chit chat for the chit chat. So let's get right into this video. So I'm only going to pick up one book. I'm going to show you guys that this LSAT prep is 2018-19. I still have the other book over there that I have to study. But anyway, I just wanted to let you guys know that. So basically I want to let you guys know that I am studying. I'm going to be studying back for the LSAT. And I just wanted to kind of go over a couple of things with you guys briefly. You probably already know these things, and sometimes maybe you don't know it. I'm not sure if you are trying to get into law school or if you're studying for the LSAT or what your status is in life, but I just wanted to tell you 2 things that I've noticed that changed since I last took the LSAT, and I think my last test date for the LSAT had to be like 2014 or 15. So, when I used to be studying for the LSAT, once upon a time, it was only offered 4 times a year. It is now offered 7 times a year. Another observation was we used to have to print out these small photos that were like passport size that fit on a piece of paper that we had to glue down or tape down or whatever for the day that we went to take the test. We would take that paper form in with us. It is no longer that. It is now you have to upload a photo online of you that fits the description of what they're asking for, fit in the box, and it has to be an appropriate picture. So those are 2 observations that I've noticed. A third thing that I've noticed is, outside of the 2, there's 3 things. There's probably more, but let me tell you the third thing real quick. So the third thing that I've noticed, before when we took tests, I don't think our answers to those tests ever came back. They either did or they didn't. I think your score just came and you kind of knew what you scored. Maybe the percentiles in the sections. I don't remember how it was done. But you didn't really know what questions you answered wrong. I don't recall. Both ways, whether you did get the answers that you could request or you didn't. Now there is a thing that's called disclosed and non-disclosed when you take the test. A disclosed test versus a non-disclosed test. One of them will tell you what you got wrong, and the other one, I don't think it discloses it. And in that one that does disclose it, it gives you a window of time that you have the ability to log back in and go see. Now, I think I have a non-disclosed test coming up, and I want it to be disclosed what things are, the answers, but I don't want to wait forever to take this test. I have given myself a 60-plus day window. I just registered my test. I have been trying to get in contact with a representative in the LSAT department, and we kept playing phone tag, and then I also kept not getting through the line. It kept disconnecting and stuff, and it was just because they were having a high call volume. Finally, once I got through on the line for the test, we found that in January, February, when was this? This was October, so November, December. So my test is in January, so I have over 60 days. I have about, I would say roughly about, I have about 5 more days left this month, and we got 66. I have about 80 days. Roughly about 80 days before I have to take my test. So I will be studying pretty much every single day. Even if it's 30 minutes to an hour at minimum, to as maximum as I need. But every day I will be studying for this test, trying to master the different sections. I do believe that it's all about learning strategy and passing this test. I believe in myself. I'm taking a stab again. Like I said, I've never been really good at standardized test taking, but I've never allowed that to prohibit me from going forward in my career or going forward in life. In that matter, if something is not your strength, you don't run away from it. You tackle it. You go hard at it. You do what you have to do until you get the results. You do not just give up on something that you desire because it's difficult. Now, obviously, you can take a different path in life for whatever reasons, but don't let that path be because of you're not doing how you want to do. You see what I'm saying? You can have anything you desire. You just have to put the work in. But those are the 3 things that I have noticed. I also kind of just want to talk about in this video, because this video is like not really a specific video. It's more so my nighttime routine study with me / LSAT observations / LSAT futuristic concerns or things. So basically, that almost spilled. That was a good catch that I didn't have a hole in the mouth. So let's just talk about the like getting past the test, because at this point I'm studying for the test. I'm going to be optimistic that I'm going to pass the test. I'm going to do my part so that when I show up on test day, I can show up with the results. You feel me? So I just feel like in my heart and in my mind, say I pass the test or I get the scores that I want to get into a school accepts me and everything like that, right? It's like I almost feel as though my most nerve-wracking thing, and I think that because I know this is one of my most nerve-wracking things to look forward to in law school, I think it's going to make me be on my grind even more once I, like if I pursue law school and I actually get in. I think one thing that's going to make me be on the grind and want to make sure I know my junk even more is the fact that you might get cold called on in class. It's not like sales to me, where I could just be, you could put me on the spot and I could sell ice to an Eskimo type of situation. No, I feel like professor is going to be like, Miss Cralisa, can you please tell us about the case that happened in 1995 with blah, 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 and you kind of just have to have your briefings and stuff for the caseloads. I feel like in law school, you're probably going to be able to be like, Professor, with all due respect, I'm a little bit familiar with the case, but I'm not too familiar to where I can give you the briefing. Like, I'm sure people have those moments because you don't know everything. But I don't ever want that to be my forever mood. Like, obviously, it could randomly happen that the cases you get asked to kind of debrief end up being the ones that you don't remember or don't know of. It could happen like that by irony. But I feel like you don't want to be known as that student who every time the professor calls on you, you don't know a thing. Like, I'd rather give you a complete case review on something from my perspective and you say, well, no, that's not the way that it should have been and blah, blah, blah. But it's what I thought. Because it tells me that I thought, like, to study and everything like that. Now, I could have studied long and studied wrong, but at least I'm giving you what I thought I knew. And you're correcting me that it isn't correct. Opposed to saying, well, Professor, I don't know. And then the next time, well, Professor, I don't know. Then the next time, well, Professor, I really don't know. I don't want to be like that, So I think that's one of my greatest, I don't want to call it a fear because I feel like you can overcome anything. But I think that's one of the greatest factors that is going to have me jittery in law school. Not holding and doing well under pressure, I think I'll do well. You know, I almost think that law school, it's going to have its own, you know, set of difficulty. I'm sure there's going to be many days I'm going to scream, I'm going to cry. But I almost feel like once you get the hang of it, I almost feel like, is it going to be easier to me to do that than it's going to be the MBA program? Because in my MBA program, when I did my MBA program, which if you did your MBA, shout out to you, sis, or if you did your law school, shout out to you. And if you got a JD MBA or you're working on both, please speak on this video. I didn't have a background in business. Have I worked in businesses and had business positions? Absolutely. Did I have a undergraduate background in business when I got my master's in business? No. I was criminal justice sociology. When I went into business as an MBA level, there was a lot of jargon that I was not familiar with because I was not a business major. So I had to read up on some things to get familiar with the basic jargon to some things because it wasn't my business background. You can use a word or a concept and I will be able to, you can ask me about something and I will explain it to you. But then when you say what the name of the phrase is that describes what I just said, the jargon, I'm like, oh. But I can tell you what you know. But someone who has an undergraduate level of business and you mention those words, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, what about it? So I feel like when they go to the MBA program, they're connecting the dots from being an undergraduate. When you are going straight into an MBA program with no undergraduate experience of business, I feel like you have a lot more difficulty. You have a lot more complication. You have to do extra work, extra studying because it doesn't come natural to you. Maybe once you learn it, it comes natural, but if you didn't have the foundation of it, you have to work harder than the person who did. I know that when I got toward the end of my program, it became more difficult because the courses that I took were finance and accounting, like ending my, like obviously there were different courses that you had to take in the program. In the end, my last courses before I was out was like financing and accounting, like, and they were at the 600 levels. They were like 650. And the other one, was it 700? It was 650s. I think might have been accounting and finance like 650 and 660 or something like that, right? And so it was at a high level. And I just remember finance, I think I was able to get through that by myself by just doing research. And also I made a lot of effort to communicate with my classmates. And then when it came down to accounting, you mess up one simple situation when you are trying to balance, honey, it will throw off your whole situation. And we had pages on pages on pages on pages of spreadsheet from my assignments. My problems were so long. And there were so many concepts that I didn't know that I needed assistance with. That's why I got a tutor. You can just go ahead and say, I was booed up with the tutor all the time. Not booed up like that's my boo, but I'm just saying we spent a lot of time because there was so much work. And I couldn't just go home and do it myself, you know? Like I needed the reassurance and the explanation of what I was doing to make sure it was right. You don't want to spend a ton of hours at home, turn in the assignment, bomb the assignment because you didn't want to spend the money to get a tutor. Obviously, having a tutor was not in my budget at the time that I had the tutor. But you know, I made some sacrifices because I needed the tutor. And I knew that that one course was not going to hold me back from getting my MBA. So I was in there with the tutor every single time we could meet. Whenever I had an assignment to meet, I did not meet an hour with him. There were days where I would meet like 5 hours with him, 6 hours with him, because I needed to get through my assignments. And because, you know, like in the MBA program, you might have assignments due every 2 weeks or every week. But like if it's every week, really, it's not every 2 weeks, every week, it's something due. You either have to participate in a lot of discussion, dialogue, and all of that with your peers, and that's a grade. You also have to take tests and quizzes every week. There's one or the other, either a quiz or a test. Then you also had to turn in papers. You had to write it was something every week, which almost was something for me every day because I had other courses. So I would gather 1 to 2 days out of the week that I felt like were good for me to spend 5, 6 hours with them if I could. And all of those assignments would get done. So obviously there was a lot of assignments I could do, like my class interactions and things. I did those on my own. But when it came down to my heavier percentage based on my grade courses, I went and I got tutored. Like I said, I put a lot of effort into learning. I put a lot of effort into, like my tutor don't just give you answers. In fact, my program was so different from most MBA programs that it had not been anything like other MBA students that he had tutored in the past. So it was a learning experience for both of us. He's not just going to sit here and give me the answers. He wants me to tell him how do we get to a conclusion and why. So he was very, 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 very hands-on, but he was a great teacher, but he also was a great student. And I think that's important as a tutor to be able to play both roles. And it was very pivotal. And I ended up doing the assignments. We both were on the edge of our seats, not knowing how things were going to turn out. The first assignment, I think I might have gotten a low B or a high C or something like that, because we were both very confused about the way that this program did their accounting class. Once we got the hang of things, swing of things, we start reviewing why my answers were wrong and things like that. We started to give it a different approach. We started to give more detail to my answers. We started to, he would ask me questions about the scenarios, the case briefings that we had to read, and I would then begin to do more details and explain why, and then even if I didn't know the jargon to it, we figured it out. So there was a lot of effort on my part, but he also had to put a lot of effort in too, because here they are, a well-known tutoring place. They have to keep a good track record, which they did. In their training, they don't want, because my curriculum is not like everybody else's, to not be able to assist me. So we ended up doing it. I remember I called them on a Sunday, and I know that they are Christian based. So me calling them on a Sunday, I'm like, maybe they'll answer, maybe they won't. But because it's Christian based, I almost feel like somebody gonna answer, and I got an answer, and they were able to get me in the next day or whatever to start tutoring. No, I think I called Saturday, and the tutor guy didn't come Sundays normally, I don't think, but he came for me because I was like, this assignment's due by Sunday midnight or something like that. I need to meet in the morning. I didn't even ask what the point. Sorry guys. But yeah, I didn't even ask what the rates were. How do I get a sticker? Anyway, I didn't ask what the rates were. I just needed help. I knew I needed help, so look, I just sat down and started working. It didn't dawn on me until he ran that total, honey, and I was in the upper hundreds. The upper 100, almost hitting the 1,000. I was a few hundred away from 1,000. And I said, ooh, honey, sir, thank you for my tutoring session. I'm going to pay this one. But he was like, are you going to be back? I said, no, this is out of my league. The amount of tutoring, the budget just was not there. I cannot afford to be spending almost $1,000 for one session. Do you not know that, mind you, my tutor, he tutors, but he's also co-owner. He said, I don't even know that I knew that at first. Oh yeah, I think I might have known. No, I didn't know, I don't think until the end of the session. Or maybe I did know. Anyway it goes. He said that he sees how ambitious I am. He commends the fact that I came in for a tutor. He commends the fact that I'm tenacious, I'm determined to be successful regardless, and that I, put my education, I value my education, and that I came to him. Do you not know he started literally making my sessions based off of how much I could afford? And there would be days where he'd say, oh, it's this price, and I would pay him a little bit more because I know he took off a lot of money for me to be able to frequently see him. So he would say it's this price, and I would say bump it up, more money. And I know somebody would say, well, just pay the cheapest that he offered you. When somebody comes to be a blessing to you, don't take advantage of that. You know what I mean? Like, obviously, I appreciated the super low rate. But because I had a little bit more to give, that's what I did. He gave me his time. He gave me a major break on the cost of my tutoring, allowing me to make it through the whole semester of utilizing his service. The least I can do is go up on the price. And I know it's within my budget to go. I mean, obviously the whole tutoring wasn't within my budget, but I could afford to go up a few more, coins, because I did appreciate what he did for me. Needless to say, I graduated my program. I not only made myself proud, I know I made my mother and God and all of them proud too, but I made my tutor proud. And I text him, and we literally would text and joke about the names of the people in our assignments. And we would be like, well, how's Bob? Oh, he's good. We would joke because we heard the names over and over. They were always used in scenarios when we were doing work. And I would check on him, and I'm going to check on him soon, but I would just check to see how he's doing, because that meant so much to me. It allowed me to move forward in my life. You know what I mean? It allowed me to get that MBA. I could see right now, if I never stumbled upon him and someone who's just as witty, he used to be doing accounting and things like that, and he figured my program out as well. If I didn't run into this man, we're talking, I might not even have completed the program. I might still be, and I'm not being a pessimist, I'm being real. Not everybody knew what to do with the way that my program structured, how it did it. He tutored many people in his life, and he said he hadn't seen anything like what my assignments were. So to put in the work and the dedication that he did for me, that was phenomenal. And I just think, you don't meet people by accident. Nothing is coincidental. Everything has a divine purpose. And when I met him, that guy changed my life. Not only did he have a sense of humor, but you just invested in me. You don't even know me, and you believe in me just as much as I believe in me. You're a total stranger. And sometimes that's what it's going to be in your life. The people you do know, they're not going to believe in you and support you the way that you think that you should be believed in and supported by the ones that love you. The people who sometimes do the most for you are going to be the strangers. Those are the angels who are going to be walking the earth, who are going to pass by, sojourning through the world like you, and make a difference in your life. I'm telling y'all, when that happened, it changed me in a way. I've always been optimistic and everything like that, but it brought a different energy vibe to me. Because a lot of people, they quit when it gets hard. They quit. You ever meet those people who are almost done with a degree, and they don't finish the degree by 3 classes or 2 classes or 1 class because it became too hard? Well, you've made your way all that way up until here. Why quit? Keep going. Even if it's hard, figure it out. And that was me. I wasn't going to quit, but I was at my last 2 courses. I think I ended up getting an A and a B in finance and accounting. And my assignments, my grades, everything started going up. I started applying myself more. I was in my tutoring sessions. I was applying myself. I was eager to pass and to be successful. So as I go on this quest with law school, y'all tell me, if you have your JD MBA, which one did you think was an easier process, and why? I would love to hear from you guys who have your JD MBA. And if you're currently seeking your JD, is this your first time around, second time around? What are you experiencing? I do want to hear other people's story, because your story is a motivation to me, just like my story is a motivation to you. I want to know, what are you guys doing to study? You know what I mean? What are your struggles? What are your successes? Were you failing the LSAT and you all of a sudden you turn that thing around? What's up? Drop comments in the comment section below. Let's talk. Hopefully I can post this video tonight, because I would love to get dialogue started, or even just influence somebody by watching my video. So I'm going to get studying. I'm going to write out my goals. I'm going to start studying my LSAT again, and hope you guys enjoyed this video. Make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. And until next time, I'll see you beautiful people in the next video.
It's only 11 something, but why does it feel like it's 2 something?